The year was 1941. The world watched in horror as the dark clouds of war descended upon Europe. On December 7th, that horror struck home when Japanese forces launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The unprovoked act of aggression shattered America's sense of isolationism and thrust the nation into the global conflict of World War II. From the ashes of that fateful day, a sleeping giant awakened. The United States, once hesitant to join the fray, now stood united against the forces of tyranny and oppression. With unwavering resolve, millions of Americans answered their nation's call to arms. They hailed from bustling cities and quiet farm towns, each with their own story, their own dreams, their own fears. Yet, they were bound by a common purpose: to defend freedom and democracy against the encroaching darkness. These brave men and women would go on to form the heart and soul of the mightiest military force the world had ever seen. The United States military, fueled by the industrial might of the nation, became a formidable force on multiple fronts. From the beaches of Normandy to the islands of the Pacific, American soldiers, sailors, and airmen fought with valor and distinction. Their sacrifices, etched in blood and valor, turned the tide of the war and ultimately secured the hard-fought victory. The story of America's triumph in World War II is not just a tale of military might, it is a testament to the spirit, resilience, and unwavering belief in freedom that burned brightly in the hearts of every American. While battles raged overseas, a different kind of war was being waged on the American home front. Every citizen, from the youngest child to the eldest grandparent, played a crucial role in supporting the war effort. The nation's industries were transformed, shifting from the production of consumer goods to the manufacture of tanks, planes, ships, and munitions. Assembly lines, once dedicated to building cars and appliances, now churned out the tools of war, fueling the Allied war machine. Rationing became a way of life, as essential goods like sugar, coffee, meat, and gasoline were carefully allocated to ensure that the needs of the troops overseas were met. Families diligently collected ration stamps and adjusted their diets, making do with less so that those on the front lines could have what they needed to fight and win. Recycling took on a new urgency, as scrap metal, rubber, and even cooking grease were collected and repurposed for the war effort. Victory gardens sprouted up in backyards and empty lots across the country, as Americans took to growing their own fruits and vegetables to supplement their rations and ease the burden on the national food supply. Children collected milkweed pods for their floss, used in life vests, while women took on jobs traditionally held by men, keeping factories running and proving their mettle in a time of national crisis. These acts of sacrifice and selflessness, though small in isolation, collectively formed the backbone of the American war effort, proving that victory was not just won on distant battlefields, but forged in the hearts and homes of ordinary citizens. The story of America's involvement in World War II is incomplete without acknowledging the profound contributions and sacrifices of African Americans. Faced with the dual evils of fascism abroad and Jim Crow segregation at home, they fought valiantly on two fronts, seeking a double victory against tyranny and oppression. Over 1 million Black Americans served in the armed forces during the war, demonstrating extraordinary courage and patriotism in the face of discrimination and prejudice. Despite facing segregation and racism within the military, African American units like the Tuskegee Airmen and the 761st Tank Battalion distinguished themselves with their skill, bravery, and unwavering commitment to duty. Their accomplishments challenged deeply ingrained racial stereotypes and helped to pave the way for the eventual desegregation of the armed forces in 1948. On the home front, Black Americans contributed significantly to the war effort, filling critical roles in factories, shipyards, and other essential industries. The war effort provided new economic opportunities for many African Americans as they migrated from the rural South to industrial centers in the North and West in search of work and a better life. However, this migration also led to increased racial tensions and social unrest in many cities, highlighting the deep-seated nature of racial prejudice in American society. The echoes of World War II reverberated throughout American society long after the guns fell silent. The war had fundamentally reshaped the nation's social fabric, its economy, and its place in the world. The United States emerged from the conflict as a global superpower, its military and economic might unmatched. But the war's legacy extended far beyond geopolitics, leaving an enduring impact on the lives of ordinary Americans. The experiences of World War II had a profound impact on the civil rights movement, as black veterans, emboldened by their wartime service and sacrifices, returned home determined to fight for equality and justice. The war had exposed the hypocrisy of a nation that espoused freedom and democracy while denying basic rights to millions of its own citizens. The civil rights movement gained momentum in the post-war years, culminating in landmark legislation such as the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. The war also ushered in an era of unprecedented economic prosperity and social change. The GI Bill provided educational and housing opportunities for returning veterans, fueling a boom in higher education and suburbanization. The war effort had spurred technological advancements and innovations that would continue to shape American industry and society for decades to come. World War II was a defining moment in American history, a crucible that tested the nation's resolve and revealed its true character. It was a time of extraordinary sacrifice, but also a time of remarkable unity and resilience.